Key, chosen one key.
I'm really sorry.
Key, brilliant one key. Bring the bounty to the plane, through the torment, through the grace. Marvelous knowledge shall not be. Key, chosen one key.
Hello everybody! I wanted to throw out one last Severance video before Season 2 officially dropped. In this video, I'll be doing a predictions. I'm gonna split it up. Basically, it's gonna be a predictions for characters where I have an idea where they're going, a predictions for characters that I have completely no idea where they might go. I also wanted to go through some of the comments and throw out some of the most interesting theories or additions to theories that I've seen you guys throw out there. And at the end, I'll just do one quick little theory on where I think Season 2 will take us as a whole. The goal is to get this predictions video out, react to Season 2, and then come back to this video and see how horribly mistaken I was on most of these. For reference, I have not received the show early. Apple somehow didn't anticipate that I was going to start a channel just a month or two before the show would come out. That's on them.
Apple, please send me a balloon.
But I have seen some of the promos and a couple of the cast interviews. I know promos can give some things away, and I know the cast interviews, if you guys ever are fans of those, they can sometimes let things slip. So if that is something you're worried about for potential spoilers, definitely avoid watching the rest of this video. I definitely haven't had anything confirmed. I haven't read any leaks or anything like that. This is purely just my own thoughts and maybe some bits and pieces influenced by the media I've seen so far. Point is, I'm excited to kind of share and see how much I can get right. This is going to be a less scripted type of video. I'm just gonna kind of yap. So sorry if that annoys some of you. Point is, I've seen people do predictions videos, so I'm excited to kind of make a video and embarrass myself on a wider scale. We're gonna go ahead and start with Mark. My predictions for Mark is I think he's mainly going to be trying to figure out what happened to Miss Casey. I think if this show goes on for a couple of seasons, he will eventually get to the point where he'll want to take down Lumon a little more aggressively. But for right now, I think he's more like a whistleblower. I think he's more like someone who's trying to raise awareness and be a citizen detective and figure out what's going on at Lumon and for all the indie sakes.
What the hell?
For Helly, I think she will continue to be at odds with herself. I can see just maybe realizing more of who she is as a character. One thing I wanted to point out while rewatching Season 1 was it's been so long since I have seen the series that in my head, Helly had been consistently a member of the Egan's family from the very beginning of the show. I failed to realize that that was a reveal that they kept into the last few episodes, or maybe even the last episode. So I'm interested to see if we actually get to see more of that Egan connection now. Because even though it feels like I saw a lot, I guess we really did only see barely little. I could also see her sneaking in and pretending to be an innie. I don't know. I think it'd be a fun storyline too, to have her pretending to be, you know, a part of it. I also remember seeing, I think it was a cast interview where basically someone had discussed the idea. I think it was Britt, the actor who plays Helly. They had discussed the idea.
Yeah, they're both trapped in really different ways. Helena's trapped within the company that she's born into.
Outie Helly basically being a little jealous of Innie Helly and like being rebellious, and maybe she wants to be rebellious and be an Innie as well. But yeah, that's where I think they might take Helly this season. How the season could end with her, I don't know. It depends on how closely attached Innie Helly becomes to Mark. If Innie Helly becomes much more attached to Mark, I could see it ending with Innie Helly maybe disappearing altogether, you know, and Outie Helly kind of taking the reins, which would be really sad, obviously. But if the show goes on for a few more seasons, it would add a lot of weight. Plus, you get to keep the amazing actor Britt around, so that's a double whammy.
Greatest moments of this planet.
Then we have Mr. Milchick. Mr. Milchick. So this one, I actually had no clue where he could be going until I saw a cast interview, so just full clarification. But basically, it's the idea that he will be trying to fix his whole mess. The idea that he will...
He's got to clean up the mess he made in Season 1. I mean, I let him know that he has a family, so like... Yeah. Oops.
Figure out how to like take control of things after Miss Cobell is potentially fired, which I'm sure she will be, but... Point is, I think he's taking more of a leadership role in Lumon and maybe working on putting out a lot of fires. That's where I can see him going. How the season will end for him could be anyone's game, but I hope they keep him around for a long time, so I don't know. We'll have to see.
Your Annie said she's alive.
This is obscene.
I just want to be sure.
Devon, Mark's sister, will be working towards putting together the pieces of what Lumon could actually be doing. I don't know how involved she's going to be in the season, but I could see her trying to spending a lot of time trying to convince Outie Mark that like something weird's going on. It seems like he's pretty in disbelief at whatever any Mark had yelled at the end of season 1 about his wife being alive. I think it would be really fun to play with Outie Mark, who was finally healing. We could see at the end of season 1, was finally coming to terms with some things, now having to face the conflict of his wife being alive. And his sister, while genuinely and for good reason trying to figure out what's going on and convince Outie Mark that this is something worth investigating, has to play with this delicately, because like that's gonna cause a lot of emotional turmoil for Mark Outie, and I just can't see him willing to accept the idea that his wife is still alive so easily. I can kind of see where the character would be coming from if they rejected the idea.
My Outie's wife died a few years ago. Except the woman is Miss Casey.
Miss Casey. I do have a little bit of a theory. I think just in general, if she does appear back in the show, it's going to be through flashbacks for sure, or it's going to be as a hallucination or something that isn't real, or it's going to be a different version of her, like a different Innie. Either way, I don't see her herself coming back in the same version we saw in season 1. That's for sure. Although I hope we see more of her. The music inside those sessions she was having with the characters was genuinely amazing.
It's not our world up there.
Now, because my favorite one. I was considering making an entire theory video just on this, but I'll just throw it in here with the predictions and see how wrong I am. I think Irving is guaranteed to be the spark that takes down Lumon. I don't know if he himself is going to be busting in there, guns blazing, taking everybody out, but I do think that his action within the story and his role within the story is definitely going to be to take down Lumon. I'll get to that in a second, but for season 2, I can fully see him trying to reconnect with Bert. There was a shot in the trailer that suggested that Bert might not be as innocent on the outside as he is on the inside. It would be really interesting to find some conflict between both of them, especially if Outie Irving is actively against Lumon and Outie Bert is actively for them. But either way, at some point, Irving's actions, or at least Outie Irving's actions, are going to be the spark that takes down Lumon. I don't know if I see Irving surviving the story as a whole. I hope he does. I think that'd be really interesting. But if he doesn't survive, he's definitely going to be a martyr, and he's definitely going to be what pushes Mark to actively and more aggressively try to take down Lumon. Again, I could be wrong on that, but if anyone's going to be that initial kickoff, not like just looking for inquiries or just trying to figure out what's going on, but genuinely be the spark, the Mockingjay of the Severance world.
I volunteer! I volunteer as tribute!
I really hope that it's Irving and that's his grand role to play, especially considering the poetry of him being the most dedicated Lumon employee that was severed. I think that would be awesome. Here are some unknowns I have. I can maybe think of some things, but I just can't think of anything worth actually putting to paper in regards to where I think these specific characters will go. But in regards to Dylan, I can see him hopefully trying to reconnect with his family. I don't know, there has to be more to it than that. He better not die. I don't know. I know there's not a lot of death in this show, but we can't lose Dylan. Another questionable character, another unknown for me is Miss Cobell. I have no idea where they'll take her. I don't know if she'll actually end up being fired, or if she is fired, what she'll end up doing. I think she's amazing in every scene that we get from her, but I just can't. I mean, even season 1, I couldn't predict anywhere she would go, so I'm excited to see what they do with her, but I got nothing. Rickon. I saw like one picture. I didn't actually read through it, but I saw one picture comparing him to one shot of the trailer with the guy that looks similar. Perhaps he could have a brother. I kind of hope that's not the case, but it's possible. Other than that, Rickon, I don't know. He's just he's a joy to have on the show altogether. I just like watching him, and just his subtle microaggressions towards Mark is just, it's great. Anyways, those, I have no clue where they could go.
My name is Miss Wong. It's my first day here as deputy manager. Mark W.
Why are you a child?
because of when I was born.
I also have no idea where the new characters that are coming in are going to go. If anything, I thought getting a new cast would mean seeing a new floor or seeing a new department. Did not think we'd be getting more NDR staff, so they could really go anywhere as far as I'm concerned.
Now.
Goodbye, Marcus.
All in all, I think season 2, we're going to be getting a little bit more answers about Kier, but not everything. I think we may get a reuniting of both Miss Casey and Mark, or Gemma and Mark, one of the two. I think Miss Cobell is going to return as a powerhouse. I'm hoping that if she is fired, she's gonna be throughout the show, like messing around, baking cookies, talking to people, doing whatever she was doing as an outie outside of Lumon. Point is, I could kind of see, based off the trailer, I'm seeing Mark kind of seemingly try to get the rest of the departments to rise up with him. Either he's gonna lead them all to something decently bad or some kind of trap, or he's going to get turned on by all of them in some way, shape, or form. I don't see a rebellion really starting this early in the show, and Lumon's gonna just finally lose their patience. In regards to their goals and what they could be trying to do, the staff have been really holding them back in a lot of ways, even though they're necessary. So I could see some repercussions coming in the end of season 2 for a lot of these characters, especially considering it starts off with everything seemingly being okay. Everyone's like giving them balloons and stuff. I know everything's not okay for them necessarily, but they're not really getting punished for any of what they did, which basically put Lumon in a hot spot, especially Helly. That is dangerous territory. I know she's also Egan, but oh, it could be cool to see some conflict inside of the Lumon administration between the Egan family and the staff / administration, and maybe see some button of heads, you know? I don't think they necessarily would get along in regards to their goals. The staff obviously have faith in Kier, and the Egans, I think, have more faith in themselves. I think the Egans are more egotistical. I don't know. Anyways, these are some of the favorite comments I've seen on my recent videos. Genuinely a lot of creativity out there. Some of them just adding to the theories, some of them coming up with theories to their own, but a lot of good points either way. Appreciate it. Those are my predictions. That's just me yapping for a bit. I know it's unscripted. I just kind of want to throw my thoughts out there. Either way, I'm excited for season 2. I'm debating on doing live streams so I can kind of chat with people afterwards. I also don't think I'm a big enough channel for that necessarily, but it would be really cool to have some conversations post the episodes and stuff like that. So if that's something anyone would be interested in, let me know. I don't know. Now I want to go ahead and say thank you to everybody who's showing support. It really means a lot. World changing. I also appreciate some of the people who took some time to go ahead and draw me on request. I definitely think these are pretty beautiful. So if you're ever just looking for some some talented voice actors or talented artists to draw you, I'll leave some links in the description if you want to check them out. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good rest of your day.